Thank you for joining us today. I'm CJ Craig.
And I'm Jackson Rowbottom, and this is UCentral News.
And we've got something good. A UCO faculty member is being honored with an inaugural award. Caitlin Porterfield, an instructor for the Forensic Science Institute, recently received the first ever Council of Forensic Science Educators Excellence in Teaching Award. The award recognizes forensic science educators who demonstrate expertise, creativity, and innovation in the classroom.
Actually learn and be in the class, and she makes everyone feel very much included in the class, make sure everyone has that voice.
Porterfield joined UCO staff in 2015 and is currently working to achieve her doctorate in educational psychology and instructional technology.
And commuters beware of construction happening at 2nd and Bryant. Design plans started in October of 2017 when a survey showed the intersection as the top traffic concern among Edmond residents. The city plans to install dual left turn lanes and separate right turn lanes on all 4 lights. It is expected to be completed by the end of this month. And today is Thrifty Thursday at the fair. Going on right now at the fair today. Thrifty Thursday has brought general admission down to $5. Remember, children 5 and under are free, and you'll have to check it out before the fair leaves this weekend.
That's right, and for those going to the fair, be sure to leave your phones off the ride before you get on. Give it to a friend or the ride worker for safekeeping until you and your friends are off the ride, because you could be injured like this particular mother was. An Edmond resident was suddenly struck in the head by an iPhone 13. Luckily, there was a nurse nearby to help assist with her injuries, and she ended up being okay.
And Scissortail Park has officially been completed. The construction of the lower park was started in November of 2020 and spans 32 acres, doubling the park's size. A 3-day festival is being hosted this weekend with free events including vocational classes, therapy dogs, and a Philharmonic concert. And after the heat, we've gotten used to this cooler weather, and it is very much appreciated. And coming up right after this break, Jackson is going to break down what is in store for this week's forecast. Stay tuned.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
And welcome back to UCentral News. We have a follow-up story from yesterday. Russian President Vladimir Putin announced the decision to mobilize up to 300,000 reservists.
In an interview, Putin explained his mobilization. In order to protect our homeland, its sovereignty, its territorial integrity, in order to provide for safety of people of liberated territories, I think it is necessary to support the decision to partially mobilize citizens of the Russian Federation. I would like to underline this as a partial mobilization. In response to Russia, U.S. Ambassador Bridget A. Brink made the following statement on Twitter. Sham referenda and mobilization are signs of weakness, of Russian failure. The United States will never recognize Russia's claim to purportedly annexed Russian territory, and we will continue to stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes. What's more, U.S. President Joe Biden echoed that sentiment in a speech to the United Nations General Assembly. And today, not everyone in Russia is happy with the mobilization. According to CNN, Russian police have detained people protesting Putin's mobilization order. The protesters have extended beyond Russia to the capital of Serbia. Protesters carried banners in Serbian while calling Putin a killer.
Sorry about that. Former President Donald Trump has yet to release his responses since being sued by the New York Attorney General for fraud. She alleges he obtained loans by inflating the value of his assets on applications. Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, has made similar allegations when testifying before a House committee back in 2019.
And coming up after this, I will be breaking down the weather for you guys, and we are seeing a cool one right now, but that doesn't mean it'll stay that way. Weather coming up for you right after this.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit Travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back to UCentral News, where we are going over your weather update. And if you've been outside at all today, you will know it feels a lot better than what it has been. Coming in at 81 degrees currently in Edmond, Oklahoma. Winds coming out of the north at about 14 miles per hour. Humidity is going to be a little bit higher, though, sitting at about 61%, but it also feels like about 80 degrees. And so a couple of weather headlines coming up for you. We have had a very nice break from the heat so far, but the winds are going to be picking up today as a cold front has moved in throughout the day, but the heat will also be coming back. We'll get into that a little bit later as well. We're going to go over some current conditions. A little bit warmer now. So Guyman is sitting at about 52, 55-ish right now, but you're going to be a little bit warmer the further south you go into the state. That cold front has made its way through the northwest part of the state and has not made its way down to the southeast part of the state. The northeast is feeling a little bit of that as well. Oklahoma City sitting there, it's going to be about 81 now. Lawton's going to be about 82-ish, and you're going to see a lot of those temperatures around the 80s. Altus sitting there probably about 83. It's at 72 right now. Ardmore's probably going to be about the same as it was earlier in the day. 87, Idabel 88, McAllister 78, Miami up there at around 64 to the 72 region. And we're going to be going into tonight what you can expect as you guys are starting to go to sleep. We're going to be at 60 degrees north with a wind coming out of the north at about 6 to 10 miles per hour. Humidity is going to stay right about the same with a rain chance very, very slim, 5% at most. And we're going to keep you updated on your weather forecast throughout the show. We'll catch more on that later. I'm going to toss it back to CJ at the desk for more news.
And thank you, Jackson. And coming up next, Patrick recaps Monday Night Football and reviews Broncos sports for the week. So don't go anywhere. We've got sports coming up right after this.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back, Broncos fans. I'm Patrick Talbot, and this is your Thursday Sports Update. It's a big day for the UCO Broncos on Saturday as they welcome in the number 2 ranked Northwest Missouri Bearcats to Chad Richardson Stadium. Head coach Adam Durrell and the Chos will face his former team and his alma mater. Durrell played at Northwest Missouri from 1994 to 1997 and later became the coach for the Bearcats. Durrell, as an assistant, coached in 5 consecutive national title games from 2005 to 2009. And in 2011, Durrell became the head coach for the Bearcats and won 3 national championships. Central is 1-2 on the season, coming off a loss to Missouri Southern last Saturday, but a victory on this Saturday would be extra special for the Broncos and Coach Durrell. And to NBA news, reports out of Boston say that head coach Ime Udoka is in hot water and could potentially face a season-long ban. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, Udoka allegedly had an intimate relationship with a female member of the Celtics staff, and that is considered a violation of the organization's guidelines. Assistant coach Joe Mazzulla will likely take the reins as the team's interim coach in Udoka's absence. The Celtics are coming off a finals appearance against the Golden State Warriors and look to be one of the East's best team this year. We'll have to see how Udoka's absence affects them. And Week 3 of the NFL kicks off tonight with an AFC North matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. For the first time since 2004, Ben Roethlisberger will not don the black and yellow as quarterback against the Cleveland Browns. Mitch Trubisky will start for the Steelers tonight, but fans in Pittsburgh are growing restless, calling for rookie quarterback and former Pittsburgh Panther Kenny Pickett to take the reins. Sunday afternoon offers a decent set of matchups with the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Indianapolis Colts and the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Commanders as they kick off the early slate of games at noon. While the marquee matchup of the day pits quarterback Aaron Rodgers and the Packers against quarterback Tom Brady and the Bucs. However, Tampa Bay will be without Brady's #1 target Mike Evans after the NFL upheld his 1-game suspension for last Sunday's melee against the Saints. Kickoff is 3:30 local time. And for Sunday night, Jimmy G and the San Francisco 49ers are taking on the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson. Broncos have been disappointing on the offensive side of the ball thus far, failing to eclipse just 16 points in either of their first 2 games. Their offense will be tested in their matchup with an impressive 49ers defense on the other side of the ball. Monday night, we get an NFC East matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. Dallas still without Dak Prescott, so we'll see if Cooper Rush can manage a victory against their division rival. And with a little under 2 weeks to play, we have some tight races down the stretch in Major League Baseball. The New York Mets and the Atlanta Braves have both clinched playoff berths, but they're still battling for their division. Both teams want that home field advantage in the first round. The Padres, Phillies, Brewers, and maybe the San Francisco Giants are all competing for those last 2 wildcard spots. Giants currently sit 9.5 back of that last wildcard spot, while just 4 games separate the other 3 teams. The Milwaukee Brewers, however, are on the outside looking in right now. Over to the American League, where all 3 wildcard spots are still up for grabs. Things are still a little muddied up right now, as 5 teams are still in the hunt for those 3 spots. Toronto Blue Jays, Tampa Bay Devil Rays, Seattle Mariners, the Baltimore Orioles, and the Chicago White Sox are all battling for those spots down the stretch. Lots still at stake with little time remaining, but we're almost to the postseason of baseball, and I can't wait. Let's send it back to Jackson and CJ at the desk. Guys?
Thanks, Patrick. And coming up after this, we'll have some more social media news for you and one last look at weather. Stay tuned.
Back and change it all. I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision.
Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah.
invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
And welcome back. And September has been a huge hit for TV series.
That's absolutely right. And some of the top shows we're highlighting today include The House of the Dragon, and Netflix's Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
But first on our list is the prequel to J.R.R. Tolkien's famous The Lord of the Rings. The Rings of Power is only 5 episodes in, and it follows multiple key players in the history of Middle-earth. The story is set thousands of years before Tolkien's The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. The key event being set up in the show is Forging of the Rings and the rise of the Dark Lord Sauron. It starts following the young Galadriel and female elf seen in both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and her journey to put an end to Sauron's control. What's more, Amazon states that when the first 2 episodes aired, they had the most viewers ever for a Prime Video premiere.
That's very interesting news, and The Iron Throne is also interesting, and it is back in HBO's new show, The House of Dragon. This has had a ton of excitement around its release from new and old fans. The series is set nearly 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones. In the first few episodes, it sets up the beginning and the end of Targaryen's house. And these events lead up to the War of Succession, known as the Dance of the Dragons. So far, the show has only 5 episodes, and the next one is coming out Sunday night at 9.
And for anime fans looking for something new, it might be worth your time to go check out the latest Netflix original, Cyberpunk's Edge Runners. The show is set in a city completely taken with the idea of physical modifications. The main character tries to make his way in the world and survive becoming what the world calls a cyberpunk. The show has been certified fresh by Rotten Tomatoes with a perfect 100% critic rating and a 97% audience rating. Go ahead and check it out for an exciting watch that you won't regret. And the weather might make you want to stay inside and watch these shows with some cooler weather making its way through. However, it isn't going to stay that long. Jackson's going to have the rest of his weather forecast. Jackson, what do you have for us?
That's right, and when we left off, it was 60 degrees for the low temperatures coming into tonight with a very small % chance of rain. And we're going to get into the lows around Oklahoma. Guyman sitting there at about 55. You're going to see some 50s and 60s respectively all across the state of Oklahoma. The further south and the further west you go, the warmer it's going to be by and large. 61 here, though, for the Oklahoma City, Edmond area, with 54 up in Enid and your low temperature in Ardmore getting to about 65. And we're going to get into the highs for tomorrow as well, with us seeing another increase bringing about those 90s that we are all so probably sick and tired of going into the fall season. We're ready for those cooler temperatures, but it's going to be about 95 degrees in Oklahoma City, 96 down in Ardmore, McAllister, and sitting up here in Miami, they're getting the memo for fall just a little bit more, and that's going to be about 87 degrees. Guyman getting up there to 92. Altus with your high sitting there at about 98. And we're going to look at our forecast for tomorrow, which is going to be about 7 a.m. You're going to be at about 73 degrees, so a little bit nice weather. You get to wake up to something a little bit more pleasant. But it's going to get a little windier, and it's going to get a lot hotter. Going out to about 94 tomorrow for your high, and it will be getting down to about 74 degrees once again for your low. And so Thursday, we are going into that's today. Your high is 77. Friday, your high getting to 94. Saturday, 94 as well. But then we're going to start seeing those temperatures start to ride slowly down the wayside. Getting to 88, 85, another 85, and then finally down to 84 On Wednesday, your lows starting to peak and then start to go back down again as well. 60 degrees for your low today, 74 tomorrow, 67, 57. We're finally starting to see those 50s, that wonderful sweater weather we're all looking forward to. 61 for Monday and 58 for Tuesday. Now, that is going to be everything we have for weather right now, and I'm going to toss it back to CJ at the desk.
Thanks, Jackson. And here's a reminder that it's National Coffee Day today. Because of this, LA Madeline is celebrating by giving out free coffee. This deal is giving one guest one free regular or large drip coffee. You can order yours online as well. And obviously, a lot of people drink coffee right now. I'm not a big coffee fan, but one thing that really piqued my interest was some of those shows that are coming up, you know?
Yeah, the shows are going to be interesting. I personally am an avid Lord of the Rings fan, so the Rings of Power is going to be something I'm trying to pay a lot closer attention to. I know Amazon dropped almost a fortune on the production for that show, and I think a lot or receiving it very well.
That's not the only big IP that's getting a show made out of it. Game of Thrones also getting prequel or sequel, whatever it might be.
I think it's a prequel show.
It is definitely going to be very big. I know that was very huge back in the day, but obviously we are very excited to start seeing these shows come out, and we hope that you are as well.
Yes, we are. And that is going to do it for us today on UCentral. I'm Jackson Rowbottom.
And I'm CJ Craig.
Stay safe, Oklahoma, and we'll see you next time.